Oh, no way.
It's just not in great condition.
Like, this has gone this way because someone has been enjoying this car so much. Right, I think we'll leave it there. It's not exactly the lightest of things, and it is covered in ice over on that side. But yeah, here it is, TTRS. It's definitely the cheapest one in the UK and maybe even the world. But it has got one problem, as you've seen. Key in. Okay, the dead battery's not the issue. Let me put a jump pack on it. It's something else. Bit of a red and black theme going on here. See, it's a pretty long-winded intro, I know, but we're getting there. Hopefully the roof completes its motion and goes fully down. I can hear ice cracking behind my head. And there we are. Right folks, so welcome back to another video. Yes, I have picked up a 2009 TTRS convertible. You probably never thought that was going to happen. Me neither, to be honest, but when this came up in auction, I couldn't refuse it. The price I got it for, I'll get straight to it. I paid £6,600 plus fees. Now, whilst that price does sound very cheap and you think it'd be a bag of nails, it actually is a running TTRS bar one little sensor that's basically playing up at the moment, of which we'll get into later. But yeah, 2.5 litre 5-cylinder engine. It is the CEPA block, so it's the very first of the modern 5-cylinders, you could say, and it is also paired with a manual box. It's known as the MQ500. Every RS3 has been DSG, but the TTRS 8J was the only way to get a manual with the 5-pot. It's one of the reasons why I've always wanted to try one. Not so much a roadster, but the price of this thing negates everything. You can pay £6,000 for an engine alone, let alone the rest of it. These bumpers are worth a fair bit. You've got the rear spoiler, these brakes, which are common retrofit for the Mark V platform, and in very good condition. Now, I think I genuinely got lucky with this because ordinarily TTRSs don't really drop below the 10k mark, even for the worst examples. This was actually listed on eBay for a while. I believe it was up for £12,000 for about a year or so. No one bought it, presumably because some of the rough edges it's got, like the interior's got some battered bits. So it was never a retail worthy car, it was more of a trade sale. Came with an auction, no one really bidded on it. We went up to 6.6 and then it went to provisional bid. So waited for a few hours and they just accepted it. It was below reserve, but I think they just wanted it gone. Now, I've had it for about a week, but this non-start issue only began yesterday, so I've already scanned it, I know what it is, and I've got the part. But before we dive deeper, I'm going to run the clips from the day when I collected it at auction. You can see it in action and how it was when we first saw it. So yeah, enjoy, and I'll see you in the other end. There we are. Oh, the wheels look like they've been refurbed, haven't they?
Yeah, on the report they said they're a great one, so it's no curbs.
It's got the typical RS spoiler. That hasn't got the original pop-up one. It's one of those original Audi UK plates. It's got a few scratches here and there. What are they? Accelera fees. Look at that. That's going to be perfect in the rain, that. Check this spoiler out. Off to live his life in Bedford. No longer in the TTRS, my friend. So all of this trim's been off. They've not clipped it in properly.
Broken at the top.
So I don't know what they've
That's
been.
probably why it's leaking, you know.
Yeah, they're not put it together properly.
It's not sealed correctly. It's a good start.
Got speakers. Oh, it's got Bose. I forgot about that. Yes, lad. Look at that. Yeah, Mark 8 could learn from that. It looks pretty good, don't you think? In the paperwork, he was saying it had a rocker cover gasket. It probably explains why it's all pretty clean here. They've tidied it up.
Yeah, you can see where it's been sealed actually.
Yeah, it's decent. Not bad. For the cheapest TTRS in the world.
It has to be.
It has to
Definitely
be.
the most complete cheapest anyway. Not category car or anything like that.
Yeah, it's Spaces engine bay. Right, okay. It's perfectly half in it.
It's
So
bang on.
seems standard as well.
It all seems quite nice though, like the tabs aren't broken on the headlights and stuff.
Actually sounds pretty good. It had an EPC light on the auctions. That's a very stiff gear. Maybe TTs are like that. This is the MQ500 box, so
That's it, man.
we gotta check that out. It moves.
Oh, cold start's done.
Alright, let's have a look now. It's a bit of a change.
Ah, it's got a lovely oil actually.
Yeah, injectors, of course.
Yeah.
Chains obviously on this side.
It's all relatively nice and clean now, man.
Yeah, nothing on.
It's like the car just fixed yourself for your arrival.
It has, yeah.
Even if there's flat battery on this, it's nice.
Yeah, oh yeah, flat.
There's nothing wrong with
I was expecting it to be all rattly and a mess. Another TSC find in the book. Right, so we'll cover the top bit for obvious reasons.
This is a user-approved invoice when the car was around a year old. It says originally registered June 2009. So this is November 2010.
So this was its first sort of private owner then, because I think the first owner was Audi UK.
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, £40,585.
Yeah. There's never been cheap 5-cylinders, even like when they were new back, like, you know, the 8J and the 8Ps, they were always £40,000. So that's power, my friend. Yeah, hearing a 5-cylinder with no roof is just ridiculous. I mean, this was a big thing, innit, back in the days, having the black surround on your MMI.
That's when you know you made it.
Yeah, and you got the controls up here.
Yeah, obviously all the cool.
Oh, no way.
Flip. Should be 2 SD card slots. Yeah.
DVD-ROM, you know. CD changer right there.
Yep, nothing in there, already checked.
Does that thing close?
The glove box?
Yeah, the Quattro badged glove box.
It's a little bit loose there, but it closes.
Oh, no way.
It's still there, it's complete.
Yeah. You know, a surprisingly lack of sticky substances in this interior.
I know, it looks really clean.
I would expect all of this to just be obliterated. Like, it kind of is, but it's not like the extent of which I thought.
It's complete though, there's like nothing missing.
Yeah.
It's just not in great condition.
Like, this has gone this way because someone has been enjoying this car so much. Right, okay, so we've got the car back on now. There's clearly nothing wrong with it on the scanner. But we'll just drive around here and try not get told off. Biting point seems good. The strange seating position, I feel like the pedals are like up here. TTRS, eh?
You can just hear that note wanting to just burst out, man.
Like Group B cars.
Yeah.
That's 5-second drive impressions. We're going to get told off in a second, so I'll cut back to home. Okay, so we're now back at home, as you saw, running pretty decent. Now, these early CEPA engines do have a few weaknesses, namely the pistons. The injectors also like to stick open. That's why I've gone ahead and bought some brand new ones, if this focuses. The L revision. Got these brand new from TPS at the cost of £880 for the whole set, so it was pretty painful. Here's the iron block engine, which is also similar to the one in the 8P RS3. You also had the iron block in the CZGB, which was a pre-facelift RS3, but that's known to be a lot stronger than this. Then, of course, we switched out to the Dazza engine, which is the aluminium one. One of the key differences you can tell though, if you take the engine cover off, which in itself is a distinguishing factor, if you look at the rocker cover, it's actually red on the iron block engines. So it's quite nice. It doesn't even need a cover per se. But yeah, getting to the actual fault that it's got now, the code that came up on VCDS was the engine speed sensor, also known as the crank sensor. It's nestled down there. I'm gonna have to get the under tray off to replace it. And I also have the part here, so big shout out to Dawood at DDG Developments. This would have taken a week to get anywhere else, but I quickly flew up to Manchester, and yeah, he had one in stock. So we're going to get this fitted now, hopefully in this ice. It shouldn't take too long. I've had those for over a year, but I can confidently say that's the first time I've ever used them on ice and snow, even though there's barely anything here. Alright, so we've got the plastic under tray off. I can see the 3 plugs over here. Quite a bit of oil as well. Okay, it's going to be a tricky one to film, but I've got my phone here with the light on. But essentially, you see this loom? It runs through there. If you unclip it, well, it's not even clipped in. And it goes into there. Almost feel them. They're like 2 Allen heads. They're 4mm, so I'm just going to undo those now. Right, so sometime later we've got that out of there. It's covered in oil, unfortunately. Right, okay, so I've got them both side by side. This is the one that I got. It has got a black plug on the end, and this one is grey. The original one seems to have a little tab coming out of it. The other ends look pretty much the same, but we'll give it a go, see if it plugs in now. Okay, that's gone in, but I have a feeling this might be off a CZGB. It may not make any difference, but I'm not too sure at this point. We'll get this all fitted back in. And yeah, next shot we'll see if we can start up. Oh, see, crank sensor sorted. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes. Let's see if it turns on and off again without any issues. Engine's up to temperature, so I'll give it a few blips. Yeah, standard exhaust. Sounds very much like it's got OPF, even though it's from 2009. Alright, okay, foot on the clutch. Nice and smooth. Now the timing chain can go on these at higher mileage. This thing's at 106,000 currently, so I'm probably going to get it done along with those injectors that I mentioned, just to future-proof it, etc. So whilst it's on the quick jacks, let's have a look at the underneath. So under tray obviously back on, but we can see the arms are very much like a Mark V. You've got the bush at the back, which is the same, so you can change that out for like an anti-lift kit. The TTRS has probably got stiffer bushings anyway. The exhaust all looks standard. Now, just like most RS models, you could get the optional RS Sports exhaust. I don't believe this car has it. It's interesting because this is very similar to the way they do it on the R8 and the new 8Y RS3, where the tip isn't actually connected. We get a light on there. It doesn't look too brown. Could have been much worse. I'm presuming it was from more of a southern part of the UK. But it has had a few owners, so I'm not too sure. Obviously much worse, to be honest. Even my Mark 7 GTI, which was a 2013 car, looked a bit more rustier than this. Got the diff there. Even the paint on the anti-roll bar looks all intact. So yeah, not bad at all, not bad at all. Tyres have a bunch of tread all the way across. These all look pretty new to me, despite being budgets, but it's better than having stuff that's peeling away. It's got that classic 5-pot sound. It is amazing how this thing doesn't actually look that much older than that 8V RS3. Maybe less than £7,000 for all of this. Yes, I know they have their image issues and it's a hairdresser's car, and be a convertible is even more so. But I can't knock the engineering here. We've got big brakes, big wheels, 5-pot MQ500 gearbox, flat bottom steering wheel, heated seats. It's a proper RS car, and it's the last manual RS ever made. Very low and slung. I never really appreciated much of the Roadster's design features until I actually got one here. Always been a coupe man, but I'm sure this with the roof down, it must be a nice driving experience, especially rolling the gears. Now I know at this point some of you guys are probably thinking, this is all well and good, you've got this car at a great price and it seems like it's working and you fixed the issue, but what exactly are you going to be doing with it? Because it doesn't really make, let's just say, the ideal candidate for a project car on the channel, the Roadster being the main issue behind it. I'm not entirely sure, because for all I know, some of you guys may prefer to wait for a coupe build, or you may want to see some stuff done to this just because of how cheap it was. I just thought, as a 5-cylinder fanboy, it made no sense for me to pass up the opportunity to get a TTRS for less than £7,000. But yeah, I think this is a good place to end today's video. Let me just hop out now. Right, so if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you do drop a like on it. Also subscribe if you are new here. There's a bunch of other content you can check out on the Mark 8R and previous RS projects and whatnot. Also make sure to follow me on Instagram. It's trhams_, should be on the screen now. Let me know what you want to see on this TTRS down below in the comment section as well. I'm open to a bunch of ideas, but I'll stop rambling now and I'll see you in a few days time for the next one.